Hello, art friends! Welcome to my classroom. I really miss y'all, but I hope that you're able to enjoy some art with me through these videos. Now, if you've seen my other videos that I've posted, you might be starting to sense a trend. I really like string, I really like yarn. This video I'm going to show you guys kind of goes along with that. This is called paper weaving. And what it is it's essentially kind of like using yarn, but we're using paper, so that makes it easier. You are taking strips of paper and you're weaving them between slots and between each other to make usually some kind of checkerboard, some kind of gridded pattern. So this blue and green one you're seeing on your screen is just a simple checkerboard. This yellow and red one is actually making a diagonal pattern. It's kind of like a basket weave, and if you get really good, you can get to this point. I will also post some links on our page with different patterns you can try. This is an easy project to do at home because all you really need is construction paper and a scissors. So I've got tons of construction paper here in my classroom that I already have pre-cut, but you just need construction paper, scissors, maybe some tape if you want to secure things on the back. I'll go ahead and post that supply list for you guys and then we'll get started. Okay, so I put it on the list, but I forgot to mention that if you really want to be mathematical about it, you're going to also need a ruler and something to write with, like a Sharpie or a pencil. And I'm gonna go ahead and use the ruler for mine because I feel like it would just make things easier. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take whatever piece of construction paper you want to be your back. So in the case of this green and blue one, the green is my back paper. It is the paper I'm weaving everything into. On this one, it's the purple. You're gonna fold it in half, okay? On the folded side, and parents, if you need to help your kids with this, totally fine. You're gonna make little tick marks. I'm gonna go every ½ inch. Half, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, 4, 4.5, 5, 5.5, and 6 is at the end. So I got all these little tick marks. And then I'm gonna take my scissors and I'm gonna go ahead and cut on these lines. Do not go all the way to the end. Leave about ½ inch. And you'll understand why in a minute. It will not work if you go all the way to the end. You don't have to be precise. You don't all have to go to the same spot. If you need them to though, you're welcome to take that ruler and mark where they line up. But you don't have to. Okay? You don't have to cut this many either. You're welcome to just do them 1 inch apart or even 1.5 inches. I just got a little overboard. Okay, so I've cut all my slots. Now this is where the magic happens. I'm gonna open this up. And you guys see how I got all these slots here? This is what we're gonna weave into. And that is also why we didn't want to go all the way to the end, or we just have a bunch of random strips. So now you're gonna take preferably a new color or new colors. And I've already pre-cut my strips on my paper cutter. I don't expect you guys to have paper cutters, but if you do, mom, dad, help out here. And you're just gonna take a full sheet of construction paper and you're gonna cut them into strips. If you would like to use some math and a ruler and make your strips a certain width, you're welcome to, or you can just eyeball it. And once you have all your strips, you're gonna start the magical weaving process. So you're gonna take your background paper and you're gonna go under, over, under, over, under, over. So you're gonna basically go under every other one, under, over, or if it helps you to think about it as in, out, you may also think of it as that way. And so what you can see here is I've got blue peeking out of every other spot, right? And now on the next one, if I want it to be like a checkerboard pattern, on the next one I'm gonna do the opposite. So I would actually start under, I would go under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, and you would keep going. Now because my blue strips are thicker than the slots I carved, it looks more like a rectangle than a square. That's okay. They can be any shape you want them to be. I've seen people cut wavy lines instead, and that usually looks really cool. whatever you want. So then I'm gonna take my third strip. Ooh, let's use green this time. I'm gonna use this bright green. And now I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna do over, under, and that. This is gonna add some nice contrast. You guys all know what contrast is? Contrast is when something stands out from everything else. So this one green strip has got some nice contrast against a dark purple background and the darker blue strips. And now I think I'm gonna go in with another blue one. That'll help with that green and the contrast. And I'm gonna again go do the opposite of what I just did. It will get easier as you go. And hopefully you'll get into a rhythm and you'll be able to kind of just guide it along like that. Maybe I'll add one more. I'm getting a nice little pattern here. I'm getting into a rhythm. I'm really enjoying doing this. I picked some really fun pieces of paper that I could use. You could also use like scrapbook paper that has patterns. Mom, Dad, if you guys have magazines or newspaper, that might be kind of fun. Cutting up old comic strips, whatever you want to use. I'm gonna go ahead and do another green one to give my picture some more contrast. If you do a big enough one, this could become a placemat. You probably want to laminate it. It could also just be something really pretty that you hang on your wall. I'll show you another really cool thing in a second. There's that. And it looks like I have enough room for about one more. So I'm gonna fit one more in here, and I'm gonna go ahead and use that blue to do that. If it doesn't look like you have enough room for one more, you can leave that space blank. You could always cut it off. It's a little tight. Let's try a different one. Let's see if I have a narrower one. Let's try that one. I just didn't cut this one little spot wide enough. So I'm gonna go in with the scissors and widen that up a little bit. Because I really just want to add one more to kind of cap it off. Getting close. That last one is always a bit of a struggle, especially if your strip just will barely fit. If you end up ripping it, it happens. You can fix it with some tape if you want. Okay, I got it through. My artwork is done. Now, if I really wanted to, if you look at this one, I can kind of push all of them to one side so it ends, and then if I wanted to, I could also snip off these end pieces. You can also turn it around, put some tape on it to secure everything. You could put some glue on these with a glue stick. Another fun thing that you can do is you can start drawing pictures. So maybe I want to write my name. Right? And then maybe I want to put a heart here, and a heart here, and a happy face, and a happy face. So I've got some artwork going on there. I have another thing that I've shown some of my high schoolers that they've done. And this might be a little more advanced for some of you guys. I don't know if you can tell what it is, but what I did is I took two pieces of white paper and I drew the same picture, but I colored them differently. So in this case, it's an ocean and a sky. On one picture, I ended up cutting my slots like I did on the purple, and on the other one, I cut it into strips, and I wove the two pictures together. This is probably above some of y'all's heads, but if you want to try it, that would be awesome. But no matter what you do, I want you guys to make sure you have fun. Take a picture, post it to our Google Classroom. I would love to see what you're making this week, and we'll talk to you soon.